YouTube. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to a series. So we've gone ahead and we've bought the UK's cheapest, highest mileage E39 M5. So for those of you who are into red checking and HPIing cars, don't bother. Let me tell you the interesting facts. Back in around when this car was purchased, it wasn't exactly something that was driven a lot. However, this was different. So we've done extensive research on this car. We've scoured high and low to find as much information, or what was seen to be known as the dodgiest M5, full stop. Click here on the link to see a thread on the M5 forum about this very car. And you know what? This is why you should never judge a book by its cover. So this car, we purchased, oh, you thought I wasn't gonna bring you in. Welcome to the channel, Goose. You didn't expect this one. So firstly, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Goose.
That was great. Right, excuse Goose, he's a little bit camera shy. He is my partner in crime. Whenever you hear me say something like we, it will always be me, my friends, my family, so on and so forth. So in this occasion, we is me and Goose. No homo. Right, so Goose, we found this car from a mutual friend of ours about a month or so ago. He goes to me, he goes, I don't care, as long as it's got a key and a logbook, go buy the damn thing, doesn't matter. So we paid £7,500 for this dodgiest M5 ever that no one else will touch with a barge pole. So the gentleman that actually purchased this car brand new from BMW worked in Belgium, lived in Yorkshire, and this was his commuter. This car was his commuter for, I think it was a few times in a month, right Goose?
Something or other, but yeah, for about 10 years, this was his commuter car.
So for 10 years, this car was a commuter to Belgium from flipping Yorkshire. 293,000 miles. By how long, when was it at 293,000?
Like 14, 15.
So 2014, this car was sitting on just short of 300,000 miles. Guys, if you were the owner of this, you wouldn't even know if it was your old car, would you? So after doing nearly 300,000 miles in this car, the owner thought it's time to jazz it up. So this was originally a carbon black car. So after nearly 300,000 miles, the owner decided it was time to rub it back and give it a bit of a new lease of life. So he had the whole car stripped back to bare metal. All the bumps, dings, dents, whatever it may have occurred over 300,000 miles, had it all rubbed down, ready to paint. Pictures are up here somewhere. Unfortunately, the gentleman fell ill and he didn't actually get a chance to finish the build. So what happened then is the car was up for sale, and a local lad from here in High Wycombe decided to go and pick it up. It was in pieces. He went up to Yorkshire or wherever it was, and with a toolkit put the car back together in the garden of the very owner. Headlights went back on, side mirrors went back on, panels, this and that, and drove it back here. It was then, because it was already prepped to paint, it was then painted in this color, Mora Metallic. And that's why it's now Mora Metallic. And along the line, whilst having the whole thing resprayed, it made sense to the previous owner before us. Why don't I give it a facelift? Because a 2000 isn't a facelift car. So then what they did is they took a donor car that had all sorts of mod cons on it, all sorts of extras, and transplanted it all into this car. From the 2001 donor car, was it a 2001 donor car?
It was definitely a facelift.
A facelift donor car. They took the DSP, which is the epic standard upgraded sound system from BMW. They took the full interior, they took the headlights, the rear lights, and the instrument cluster. So the instrument cluster came straight into this car from the donor car. The owner had no intention of ever selling the car, so said, well, I don't really care about resetting the mileage to what it should be, so what I'll do is just send it for an MOT. It's only going to be me that's driving it. And there comes the huge mileage discrepancy. Let's put a snipping of it somewhere here. All of a sudden it's gone from 299,000 to like boom, 100 and something. But that's why it is. So I've been able to get the information because I've just traced it as much as I could. So with some maths and some guesstimates, we're thinking this car is at around 305-ish thousand miles. It might be more, but it definitely isn't less. Let's have a quick walk around and see what we're working with. So to start with, we've got the factory optional extra, which is the parking sensor delete. Obviously it's a sports car, so lightweight is goals. Two-tone alloys. So this was an extremely expensive, it looks like a flake effect, so now you've got forged carbon. This is period correct flake effect. Shadow chrome, but with extra shadow. Got some love marks here from probably what was an exciting night out for someone. Got the indicator delete, bit of extra paint on there, that's custom. Oh, listen to this. What you're hearing there is a lot of smashed glass that's inside the car, because why not? You got the electric seats, you've got AC pedals.
Yeah.
That's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a win, that is.
It is indeed.
And it's got the upgraded sound system. What is that? DSP?
DSP, yeah.
7.5 grand that we paid for this car on an absolute whim. Goose would not take no for an answer. He's standing behind the camera now thinking, I'm not sure if we did good or not. So from here, we're gonna take the car down to a place called ARP, Automotive Rust Prevention, because the first thing we need to know is is the car even worth saving? So far, we've not driven it or anything, so the drive from here to ARP will tell us whether or not the engine and the gearbox and the running gear are any good, so this video might not even be that long. And assuming we make it to ARP, we'll then get it up on a lift, make sure it's not beyond repair, because we know it's going to have a bit of work. And that's that, so let's get at it. Right, so welcome inside. It started. I guess now we pray and hope it makes it to the destination. We can take a left when we come out here.
Yeah, so we've got traction control, airbag, ABS.
We've got a bit of a Christmas tree situation going on the dash.
Nothing but gaff.
And you know what? I'm wearing a white hoodie as well. This is buzzing here.
Oh! Why didn't you kick? Have I broke something?
Right, so the plan with this car is to get it over to ARP, figure out exactly how much rust is underneath it and see if it's even worth putting any money into it. But en route, yo, your speedo's not working.
Yeah, about that.
So the speedo doesn't work. I don't know, I guess we'll just start making a tally of things that need doing.
Yeah, steering wheels.
Off center and some. So steering wheel needs, well, it needs tracking or something. Straight over the roundabout. So it needs steering wheel tracking, it needs a windscreen, it needs these mobility controls removed, it needs the diff looking at, it needs the rust diagnosing, figuring out. It obviously needs paint in most of the panels. How's the gearbox?
Smooth.
That's not the gearbox.
My bad.
He's holding on to the mobility controls. Oh god. I'll put your foot down a little bit, see if it moves.
It's not warm.
Oh, ooh. Did you hear that?
No.
Grind as you went on the steering wheel. Is the steering wheel pump or belt or something loose? Or?
Well, I guess we'll find out once we're at ARP.
Yes, I guess so. So let's walk you around the car a little bit. It's got absolutely disgusting stuff everywhere. It's got a windscreen that is dirtier than my underpants right now, and trust me, that's a difficult feat. Speedo is, as you can see. Let me see.
Oh, we've magically got no fuel. Ooh, okay, now we've got fuel.
Do you reckon the fuel gauge is dodgy?
Well, I think I'd up and down.
Oh, that's great. This is good though. That's actually pixel free. That's great. This works. Sticky buttons, but it actually works. Some rather questionable marks on the dashboard, which I will not be touching. So we're about to get in at it. I brought the car straight down to ARP. It's an automotive rust prevention company, and I thought the first thing I need to do is just see how bad this thing is. This should be interesting. So let's start off with the first thing I noticed. A little bit of sellotape. Goose?
Great, under tray.
Under trays are for the week. Goose, how's it looking so far, mate?
Great. Great.
So we put the car in the air. A little bit of sellotape, that's fine. A little bit of an oil leak, but that's fine because at least we now know it's got oil in it. Looking at the tyres, it's got life in it. That's a win. That's not so much of a win. At the back, oh, you got two different ones, which is always great. In theory, this car should, it should break more than this. So from what we're thinking, it's £6,000 just for an engine and gearbox on one of these cars, and the engine and gearbox seem fine so far. Let's have a look at the rest of it. Let's see what we're gonna see. Yeah, a little bit of minor rust. I don't know if that's surface rust. Is that, Goose, is this surface rust or is that bad? Yeah, I mean, I can see through to the underneath of the car here. That must mean good things, right? Pipes still got the cats in them. It's actually all factory exhaust work. Okay. So the proof's in the pudding, I guess. We will let ARP do their work. Perfect time for me to introduce to you Omar.
Hello.
The most camera shy guy in the world. So Omar is one of the kind gentlemen that helps us out here at ARP, and they're going to do their magic. So ARP have done, Omar, how many cars have you done for me now?
I've done over 5 cars.
Over 5 cars. So what happens is I basically bring my car here and say, Omar, can you help me?
So basically, he buys the car, and this is the first place where he stops.
Yeah, this is actually my first stop.
The treatment, yeah.
We get it thrown on the air. Omar basically removes any surface rust or any mildew at the bottom underneath of the car, and then fully rust protects it and treats it. We don't like to underseal my cars. I don't like underseal. Do you offer underseal as a service?
Yeah, we do offer, but that's optional. We prefer not to do that because that's basically cheating.
So, first application of rust removal / melting agent has been applied, and it's had a jet wash down. Let's have a look. I mean, it's nuts. It is such a flipping transformation already. Real quick status update. You happy with it, Omar?
I am quite happy the way it's coming down. It is a big improvement. I wasn't expecting it to be that clear, but it has come out a treat, to be honest with you. Really good. You can actually see certain areas of the car which I wasn't expecting to see. I didn't even know if they exist.
A lot has been replaced under here.
I think the only original part is the key.
The key probably ain't original. I just had to bust that bubble.
If you look at this panel carefully, this panel had a lot of rust. Beginning of the video, Eff showed. Now look at that. All these spots is where the rust started, so that has come out crystal clear.
That's awesome, that. That's awesome, that.
Simple tools.
So the thing is when I drop my M5 off or any of my cars, I've never actually watched this process, which is why I'm a bit fangirling over how cool it is and watching it all come out. Right, so now we've cleaned, now we've removed, now we protect.
Now we're going to protect.
This is nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Nowhere near. So we've got a couple of oil leaks that we found. We've got a missing pulley, but we've not got crazy rust. We've definitely need a jacking point done. But other than that, we might be in for a surprise for seals and stuff, but that is semi-expected and good to do anyway at some point. Look at all this crap down on the floor. I expected half an M5 to be here on the floor.